It's been a rough week in all the financial markets. What many are calling the Kamala crash due to the current administration's economic policies saw the crypto market have its biggest pullback in some time. Why did it happen, and just how painful was it? Top economists and Bitcoin fans have much to say. Trump says the government shouldn't sell any of its Bitcoin, and some U.S. senators want to make it illegal to bet on elections. One longshot presidential candidate is using AI to run his campaign. Put on your big boy and girl pants today, friends, because it's been a rough few days. We'll attempt to cushion the blow with our innate form of humor and self-deprecation. This is our Make It Hurt So Good Bad News, episode number 737 of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
It's okay, everybody. We're hodling you. It's been a rough week, hasn't it, Trev?
Huddle me closer, Tony Danza.
Chicka bow bow. Yeah, rough week, man. I mean, we saw stuff going down and then the bottom just fell out and people are wondering what's going on. And honestly, if you've been through 20% drops before, this is nothing new. This is what happens in the crypto world, and everything, little thing is going to be all right. That's what Three Little Birds told me.
Well, we were thinking about, we should do a panic show on Monday, but then everybody was doing the panic show. You know, we saw this was happening Sunday night is when I first started watching it, because I started seeing what was happening in Japan. And remember last episode, we were talking about where should things go, this and that. And I was like, well, barring a black swan, because I just had a feeling like the bottom's going to drop out of something. We just don't even know where it's coming from. And I guess it's a good time to talk about it now that there was a tweet.
Well, let me pull up the CoinGecko here so we can see
go
what
ahead.
we're talking about. It's August 7th, almost 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the crypto market cap is at $2.014 trillion. Bitcoin currently at 54,809, Ethereum 2346, BNB 470, Solana 143, XRP 50 cents, Dogecoin 9.5 cents, and Toncoin at 537. And the real story is told right here in the 7-day charts where you can see it reflected fully. Look how many of the top 100 are down more than 25%. Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it just keeps going and going. I mean, even
it burns when I pee.
yeah, I mean, even 20%, like it just down. And that's the top 100. I just scrolled through there and you can see out of all of them, only like 6 or 7 have any green, and the majority of them took a beating. Portfolios are crying. Boo-hoo.
Yeah, I'm going to actually sort that again here real quick. And let's see here. Yeah, I mean, we're doing the top 50 tokens. It looks like to me that, man, 30, 40 of them were down 25%. Dude, that's just a crazy amount. Or at least down 20%. Crazy times. Well, and let's look at the fear greed index here real quick. People, it turns out, are fearful.
Yeah.
Especially yesterday, they were shitting bricks.
Yeah.
What was the day before that? It had to be. Is there a historical fear? Oh my God.
There should be a picture right next to this guy like bearing down and a big old brick coming out of his butt.
As I know I was shitting bricks a little bit, and I was like, well, what's the reason? Why is this doing that? So there's a tweet here. Go to the tweet that I put up. It's from Bull's Vision, and it actually there's a lot of articles around this of what happened. But once I realized this, so for 30 years, Japan has had zero interest in their currency, which basically means you could borrow money for free in Japan. And so if you could borrow money for free in Japan over the last 30 years, oh my God, borrow
money for flea.
Money for nothing and your chicks for fee. And and so these investors were borrowing yen no cost, and then they were investing it globally. And so for the first time ever, the Bank of Japan, they increased their rates by 0.25%, 1/4 of a 1%, and people lost their shit. They said, "Oh my God, we got to pay." So it says the estimated quantum of this trade is over $4 trillion. The Nikkei just tanked, dude. It just whoa. We were watching it in free fall, going, "Oh my God!" And over the course of a week, it went down like 30-something%, I think. Crazy.
Ouch.
But it's rebounded. The next day it rebounded up like 10%, and then I haven't seen what it did last night. But yeah, so it's rebounding. But crazy.
Stuff is happening. They're saying, according to this article on Cointelegraph, that the $500 billion plunge was the largest 3-day wipeout for crypto in just 1 year. Of course, the economy here, not good, no matter how they try to put lipstick on the pig. Everybody knows it's not good. They're feeling it. It's funny. People are actually doing these videos on YouTube and Instagram where they'll go to the store and they'll compare the receipts for the same stuff they are buying now to a couple of years ago. And in some cases it's triple, and they're trying to, oh no, this is okay. Everything's fine. This is normal. It's not normal. The economy's bad. And so it's not just what happened in Japan, but weak employment data came out. People are scared of a recession. Clearly, the market is being propped up right now, and there needs to be a reasonable pullback. Plus, there's all the uncertainty about the elections. Are we going to be a capitalist free society? Are we going to be communists? And as allegedly the commies pull ahead in the polls, whatever that actually means, people are scared. They're going, well, damn, if that happens, business in the US, a lot of people are going to be really screwed. So
I've been hosting Twitter Spaces with Mario Nawfal and his roundtable group, and there was a lady on the other day. Her name was like Lady Trader Crypto or something. I don't remember what her name was, but she mentioned some statistic about during election years, if the stock market is down, then typically it will that person who is in office will lose, even if it's a very small percentage. So if by the end of the year, from now until the end of the year, the market is down, then the Democrats won't win historically. And
because it's the economy, stupid.
Yeah. And so knowing that, I really wouldn't mind some mean tweets and $1.80 gasoline, because like when you're buying gas, there was this one dude, I know exactly what you're talking about. This one dude was on Walmart, and he was on Walmart.com, and he's like, this is an order that I bought like 4 years ago. Let me buy the exact same order. And it was like from $117 to like almost $400. It's like, wow. How are people? Because guess what? People's wages haven't popped up that much. It's almost like there's a great divide happening between the haves and the have-nots, it seems.
Yeah. So apparently there's a betting poll of people saying whether or not Trump is going to come back to X, and the markets are leading. 59% are saying that he will. And I think it's the time is right, because it is like, we predicted that Twitter would survive no matter all the reeing and screeching out there about free speech on it, and they're doing great. It is the top outlet as a town hall now, I think in the world. And apparently, I haven't confirmed this, but Elon Musk is going to be interviewing Trump on Monday on X.
That's going to be
they're going to break the internet. The world's richest man and the most popular president of our time, who is fighting for the future of America, is going to be live on X.
I think a future, in some cases, the world
of the world. Yeah.
People are cheering for him all around the world. I mean, we see what's going on there in the UK, right? People are like, man, they're protesting all the immigrants, and they're like, oh, you're a far right racist, and they're like jailing them. It's just so weird what's going on in the world right now. And I like the fact that there was no wars caused, no wars created, and there's a whole laundry list of things. But it's just weird how things are playing out right now. I think more people are aware of it, and that's just the way it is. And hopefully it works out, and we'll see. If not, maybe it's time to move to someplace else.
Well, look, if not, then those who voted for that, they're going to feel it. Like those of us who are resourceful, right, and have managed to secure some means, we're we're going to be fine. But those that are suffering the most and support this, they're going to be suffering more. I mean, there's no way around it. And they're going to be the ones crying the loudest and pointing the finger at somebody else. So part of it is like watching a movie. I mean, it's a little entertaining. It's you got to not take it personally and go, well, I'm not in control. God's in control. It is what it is. And they say that we get the leaders that we deserve. So if this is what we, in America deserve, then so be it.
Yeah. I made a joke the other day is like, we should end woke suffrage. So if you're woke, you should not be able to vote.
I'm not a fan of that. So
I remember there was a man show where Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla were going around getting women to sign the petition. When women's suffrage, they have suffraged long enough.
Yeah. Look how different those guys turned out too. Carolla's reasonable and an adult, and Kimmel's still this woke fool.
Well, he sold his soul, baby. That's what happens when you sell your soul.
He did. So Peter Brandt says the decline right now is very similar to the start of the 2016 bull run. Well, the 2017 bull run is what really happened, but 2016 is what he's referring to here, post halving. And it's kind of like, hey, we've seen this before. He's got a chart here with the receipts to back it up, showing the cycle of the bull market, the halving date, the close, and how far down it is post halving. And you could see the percentages are very similar here. And then how many weeks to the new cycle high, which again would put us probably around November to see things really pumping. And now throw in the added concerns for who wins the election, which is why I'm hopeful that the Democrats, whether they mean it or not, come out and say, yes, we are also going to make Bitcoin a U.S. Reserve asset, because that then relieves the tension of, well, if these people win, it is, and if these people win, it isn't. And that could help pave the way for Bitcoin to move on its own without those restrictions.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I love the idea. If you haven't had a chance to listen to RFK Jr.'s speech at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville, he touched on a lot of that stuff. He said, the United States should buy, how many did they say, 55 Bitcoin a day or something, until they get to 4 million Bitcoins, and then have that in strategic reserve, something like that. Could you imagine? But then the thing is that then, what if they start liquidating and they got so many Bitcoins, right? We saw what happened when Germany started liquidating all their Bitcoin. That was dumb as shit. It tanked the markets. And then the markets were recovering, right? It was so weird. Trump goes up and starts talking about it. The markets hit like 69,400 something again, almost 69,420, and then tanked again all the way down to what? Under $50,000, like in less than 10 days, dude. Like, what a crazy world.
Crazy. So you found this Instagram reel of Peter Lynch, and I'm actually going to share this and turn on the audio for this, talking on the benefits of stock market corrections. Peter Lynch with Fidelity. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Study history, and history is the important thing you learn from. What you learn from history is the market goes down. It goes down a lot. The math is simple. There's been 93 years a century. This is easy to do. The market's had 50 declines of 10% or more. So 50 declines in 93 years. About once every 2 years, the market falls 10%. We call that a correction. That means, that's a euphemism for losing a lot of money rapidly. But we call it a correction. And so 50 declines in 93 years, about once every 2 years, the market falls 10%. Of those 50 declines, 15 have been 25% or more. That's known as a bear market. We've had 15 declines in 93 years. So every 6 years, the market's going to have a 25% decline. That's all you need to know. You need to know the market's going to go down sometime. If you're not ready for that, you shouldn't own stocks. And it's good when it happens.
Or crypto.
If you like a stock at 14 that goes to 6, that's great. You understand the company, you look at the balance sheet, and they're doing fine, and you're hoping to get to 22 with it. 14 to 22 is terrific. 6 to 22 is exceptional. So you take advantage of these declines. They're going to happen. No one knows when they're going to happen. It would be people tell you about it after the fact that they predicted it, but they predicted it 53 times. And so you can take advantage of the volatility in the market if you understand what you own. So I think that's the key to element. Another key element is that you have plenty of time.
So that's from 1994. Was that when he said that? Looks like October, either 94 or 99. I can't quite read the date on it, but history repeats itself, and sometimes it rhymes.
Mhm.
It
Yeah, that
often
was good. I
rhymes.
mean, that's just like a hopeful thing. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, keep in mind,
Yeah.
it's going to go up, it's going to go down. That is life. You can cry about it all you like, but that's the way it goes.
Did you
And
get
so
a chance to watch Saylor's talk from the Bitcoin conference you went to?
I've watched several of his. I didn't get a chance to. I wasn't in the room
Yeah.
there.
Well, you can
Spoke.
go watch it now. It's great. But what he did is he's open sourcing all the slides. He's put them up on the internet. And of course, he's so steady. Like when you go back to his tweets from a few days ago when everything collapsed, this is what he was posting right here. He's posting this,
Right.
believe in Bitcoin. He's posting this, hodl. The dude is not.
I'm
I
in hand.
wonder.
Look at
I wonder how much they acquired. MicroStrategy picked up during that dip.
that. Yeah. Well, he was going to borrow a couple more $1 billion to buy some more Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Going to leverage that. I mean, seriously, like it's amazing. Now, if you go to michael.com/media, that is where all of his top presentations, you can see his presentations available, but you can also see him having given those presentations as well. So if you haven't watched those and want to check those out, that is a magical link. And holy shit, he owns michael.com.
I love that. So that's my brother's name, Michael Comm. So when you said that, I'm like, wait, how can he? Oh, right, because it's two M's and not the one.
Right. Yeah. Sorry,
I am
Michael.
still not getting my royalties from the .com world for using my name. Yeah, this is great. This is a great resource. You guys need to go and bookmark this, michael.com. All of the things Michael Saylor, the dude, like he's going to go down in the annals of history as an absolute legend, along with Elon Musk. And if he wins this time around, Donald Trump. Just going to say it now, whether you like it or not. Hope your feelings aren't hurt, but if they are, then they're your feelings, and you can
If they're hurt, then you can go down in the annals of time.
You can, in the anal fissures of time. Oh, that would really hurt. So moving from Bitcoin to Ethereum, market makers sold 300 million Ether as Ethereum price crashed below 2,200. It fell from 3,000 to 2,100 because of market makers. It's back to around, what is it now? Around 2,400, 20. No, it's still
It was at
23.
like 3,400, just like, and then so it went, realistically, it dropped like 30 something percent from, where it was when the Bitcoin conference was going on to when it was during the Japanese crash.
Look at that chart. Look at that.
And that started on Sunday night. I mean, people were talking about because the stock market had a couple of really bearish days at the end of last week. And then Warren Buffett, I don't know if you know this, Warren Buffett, you can pull some information about him. He liquidated on Thursday or Friday, he liquidated like half of his Apple stocks. He's holding about almost $300 million in T-bills and cash. He pulled out most of the stuff. Whenever these guys start pulling out of the market, it's like, what do they know that we don't know? Right? Do they know something? It's always good to give it the stink eye because Zuckerberg sold a whole bunch of his. The CEO of Microsoft sold a whole bunch. Bill Gates sold a whole bunch. You're like, what do these guys know? Market's about to go down. Do they know that shit in advance? A lot of times they probably do.
Yeah, they possibly could. It is a boys' club, and I would assume that the players out there.
Well, they could have easily said that though. Oh yeah, Japan, by the way, they've had no interest rates for 30 years, and they're about to pop up some. You might want to skim some off the market before that happens. That doesn't even seem that nefarious.
Speaking of Zuckerberg, I want to share this because I didn't necessarily expect this coming from the cuck, but check this out.
2024 presidential election.
Okay.
Facebook has been a flashpoint in many elections around the world, and you personally have been called out, most recently by former President Trump. This is a big election. What do you think is at stake?
Well, I mean, look, it's obviously a very important and it'll be a historic election. I feel like I'm best positioned maybe to talk about what our role will be in it and what we're going to do. And look, I mean, the main thing that I hear from people is that they actually want to see less political content on our services because they come to our services to connect with people. So, that's what we're going to do, where we give people control over this, but we're generally trying to recommend less political content. So I think you're going to see our services play less of a role in this election than they have in the past. And personally, I'm also planning on not playing a significant role in the election. I've done some stuff personally in the past. I'm not planning on doing that this time. And that includes, not endorsing either of the candidates. Now, look, I mean, there's obviously a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. I mean, the historic events over over the weekend. And I mean, on a personal note, it's, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life.
Right? I mean, that to me is really amazing. And who knows, maybe this dude can come around. I think he's scared. I think he knows that if the Democrats win, it's going to be a net loss for him. That's what I think.
You think? Well, what's weird is that he said that was one of the most badass things I've ever seen, and then like a week later, that photo was banned from.
Which he apologized for that. He called Trump to apologize because.
Did he really? I hadn't heard that. He called him to say, "Hey, I'm sorry, we took that off there."
Yeah,
wow.
He actually did. Let me see if I can source that here. Zuckerberg calls Trump to apologize because I watched Trump do that stream with Aiden Ross.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
Which was amazing. Like, go find it on X.
Dude, I saw him. He gave him a Cybertruck.
He's so down to earth and in real, and I think Aiden had over 500,000 people watching that, and you gotta, if you're like a young person out there and you're watching Aiden and you see this, you're like, wait, this isn't the guy that they tell us he is. This doesn't seem like a monster. I like what he says here. So Facebook incorrectly labeled a photo of Trump after the assassination attempt as false information. Trump says Mark Zuckerberg called to apologize about the photo. So I think that's pretty interesting.
Well, that is interesting to me that he would call in, and the fact that he said that was one of the most badass things I've ever seen. And I'll tell you what, I don't know what's happening. I think maybe the new humanoid upgrade has happened to Mark Zuckerberg because he seems more human. He looks less robotic. I don't know. It's like he did this thing on Instagram the other day where he was like doing this hilarious shit with this Brazilian jiu-jitsu dude or something, and they were like fencing, and I don't even understand it, but I was watching it and I was like, dude, Zuckerberg almost seems cool. What the hell's going on in this?
Everyone can be redeemed. So we'll hold out hope for
even bad crypto listeners.
Especially bad crypto listeners. Okay, you guys can be redeemed.
So
top economist
in a bottle can be redeemed in Michigan for 15 cents.
There you go. This guy from Wharton, Jeremy Siegel, said that the Fed must make emergency rate cut to avoid U.S. turmoil. It makes absolutely no sense to have no movement so far. But look, the bottom line is, do we really think that the Fed knows what they're doing? Does anybody think that the clowns in charge are anything other than clowns? And so they're gonna print more money. That's what they're gonna do.
They have a meeting scheduled in September, and I think this is more of a wait and see. They don't ever typically react to those markets. I think they probably knew Japan was pulling some shit, and let's just see what it does. Oh, look what it did. And then now look, though, if you look on Market Watch or whatever, and you go look and see where the stock market has, it's rebounded nicely from those days. I mean, realistically, if you look at first it went and then it went so it's like it didn't impact it too much except for that day. That would have been a great day to sell some shorts and then buy. And then if you're smart on that stuff, you can make money both ways.
I bought some new shorts. They're very tropical.
Are they?
My legs look very sexy.
I bet you did. So sexy.
So during that stream with Aiden, he was on when they were talking about, so Aiden asked him about the U.S. selling crypto and asked Trump if he would still support it should he win. And Trump said it's something they shouldn't be doing because they should be trying to build it. If we don't do it, China's doing it. and other places are doing it. You have to do the thing with the hands, and they're doing it anyway. So he called crypto a very modern currency and likened it to artificial intelligence. I don't think he knows. I don't think he fully understands, but I think he will. I don't think he's going to back down from this because his ego won't let him now that he's made this his policy. But I think once he actually grasps it and has people in his administration that grasp it, we're going to see a crypto boom in the US, unlike any other. It's going to be the hugest. America's going to make the most Bitcoin.
Right. Well, I mean, now maybe we won't be eventually labeled in with like countries like, oh, are you from America, North Korea, or Iran? We're sorry, you can't buy this crypto. You don't have that much freedom. It's so weird, like in all the mass exodus of people who are innovating and building on crypto. Now, I'll say this: in Silicon Valley now with AI, it's taken off like that. It's like the hub again. So the tech hub redeveloped that because really COVID kind of killed that space a bit, and then it's so expensive. And but AI is helping rejuvenate it. There's so much action going on around that. But think about this. I saw somebody said, I don't remember who said it, but somebody made a comment of AI is going to trade with AI, and it's not going to trade with paper money. It's going to trade with crypto, right? So micro transactions in crypto is how AI is going to trade. And realistically, it seems to me that we're not too far away from AI bots trading cryptos on your behalf all the time, stacking sats for you because it has the algorithm built in and it's monitoring the space. We're not so far away from that. Some people are already doing it. I know that some big companies have. BlackRock has a really badass AI tool, so it's just crazy watching us go.
So you're familiar with Polymarket, right? Polymarket.com, where you can bet on just about anything. I'm trying to go there right now. I'm getting a 400 error bad request. Maybe check on your site to see if it comes up. But there are some senators, and they are Democrat senators and representatives that are.
I got a bad request too.
FTC to ban all election betting on Polymarket. It's a decentralized election prediction platform, and there's been more than $500 million in bets on who's going to win the presidential election, which when you look at how people are betting, it can kind of give you an indicator of what the thinking is at that particular moment. And of course, it is, if you look here, this is a who's who of leftist senators and representatives.
Yeah.
Saying, we shouldn't allow this. We don't
Go
want
to
people.
HTTPS ://polymarket/elections. It might be that we didn't have the HTTPS in there. I don't know. It's just weird. If you type in polymarket.com by itself, it doesn't work.
Okay.
If you type the whole URL in, it seems to.
Market.com. Let's see if that comes up. I'm still getting the same bad request. Anyway, that's what these senators are saying. So
I'll send you the link in our fancy dancy signal.
So here is there's a candidate who is going to win. Actually, his name is Thomas Ross. No, he's not going to win, but he's running for U.S. president. He's not on any ballots, but he's using AI to run his campaign. He is the nominee of the U.S. Transhumanist Party. And he has a chatbot called MV, and he takes its advice for all its strategy. I'm going to just go out on a limb here and say that the dude probably needs a different, AI assistant because nobody knows who he is, and he has absolutely zero chance of winning the presidency.
Yeah. You know what's crazy, though? It's like, how they'll be like, oh, we're voting on a big bill tomorrow, and they just gave us the 1,100-page document today. Like, that's really one thing like Claude or, ChatGPT 4.0, some of these tools can do to plop that in. What is this being said? Because I can't read 1,100 pages. And so people are voting on shit that they don't even know. And it's like, are there any red herrings up in here that I need to know about? Any pork bellies going up in this thing that because it's like people are voting on shit in Congress and they don't even know what the hell's in the bill because the bills just got delivered to you and they're voting tomorrow. It's the dumbest shit.
It's horrible. It's a really a bad way to run a country. There's a candidate in Canada, and not Canada, in Arizona, who is crypto friendly. She's taken 1.4 million in crypto donations and has a lead in this primary election with a small percentage to count. And in spite of the other candidate being backed by Elizabeth Warren, this woman still looks like she is on track to win this. So I love seeing crypto friendly candidates, don't you?
I think we'll start seeing more and more of them. I think that it's a natural progression of where we should be heading overall. And speaking of updates and progression, Dogecoin, they are upgrading their platform here, man. They're actually going to announce the new Dogecoin Core. Dogecoin Core 1.14.8 is going to offer better safety, but I wonder what else is it going to do? I think it's going to be able to make it more extensible so smart contracts and shit can be built on it, is what I think, but I'm not certain.
Well, isn't that what Doge Chain is for?
Mm.
Remember we talked about Doge Chain? I think we had somebody on the show to talk about
Yeah, we
Doge
did. That
Chain.
was kind of a shit coin, though, that probably didn't take off like it should have.
Instead of Dogecoin Core, why don't you just call it Doge Core? Just like let's conserve on syllables. We know it's a coin. Doge Core would, save everybody. If we saved everybody that one syllable and that one breath.
Well, it's the same reason they call it Bitcoin Core, not Bitcore.
Yeah, we could save so much oxygen.
It's climate change. We're saying too many words.
That's it. We are your climate change candidates here. We're going to stop the polar ice caps from melting
by saying less shit.
We're just going to. Do you remember there was an episode of The Office where Kevin did that?
Crypto podcast now 20% less words.
Kevin did that on The Office. Me talk this, say less, and he sounded like a child.
You know what? That's how they speak in Russia. Like they don't need all these extra bullshit words. Like you can get to the gist with. You don't need all these extra words. Sometimes it makes no sense.
What need extra word for?
Yeah, no need word extra.
No need word. Now it's small talk. Here we go. I think I've found it here on. Come on, there's a video of this. I know there is, and I'm going to find it. Say something while I find this.
All right. Well, he's going to find this thing here. We talked about that. U.S. Oh, yeah, we talked about that as well. I'm going through the other article.
Okay, I found it. I found it. Here we go. Let me pull this up here because this is funny stuff. Like we can do this. Like we can play clips from stuff because it's fair use, right?
Yeah. We're not playing the whole thing.
It's fair, and I can play the whole thing. Here we go.
Hey. So this isn't matching up with this, and I'm not sure which one's right. Can you just hunt down the original for me?
Yes, me do. All right.
Jim's like, what?
Hey, Kev, what were you saying before about the paperwork?
Me do now. Go. Stop worry.
Kevin, do you feel okay?
Me feel good. Body strong. Sleep big last night.
Yeah, I think we should get him to the hospital.
Yeah. All right, Kev, why don't you come with us?
No, guys. He's fine.
He's fine.
He's always been like that.
No, he hasn't.
I mean, he's gotten worse over the years.
He's making a statement. It's an ironic comment on our expectations of him. A funhouse image of our model of Kevin.
You keep think that. Me mechanic, not speak English, but he know what me mean when me say car no go, and we best friends. So me think, why waste time? Say lot word when few word do trick.
Why say yeah? It's so true. No, if you go in, so I've studied Russian for a long time, and I still brush up on it. It's just so funny. It's like they'll say a word in Russian, they'll say a sentence in Russian that's like 4 words long, but in English, it's like 8 or 9 words you got to say to get the same exact meaning. They just said 4. Now, sometimes their words are really fucking long, but it's only 4 words, which is weird. So that's funny.
Good to know. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you as always, regardless of your political position. We love all, we serve all. We're like the Hard Rock Cafe of the crypto podcast world. And don't take it personally. We just got some strong opinions. That's all.
And maybe stay tuned, because after this, we're going to have an amazing song about how the Japanese crashed the markets. So
Is that coming up right now?
it's going to come up. Yeah, right now. Yeah, here it is.
Here it is. Stay bad.
Black swan flies tonight, shadows dark crashing light, midday falling out of sight, global fear takes its flight. Bank of Japan's bold move, interest spike to make a groove, markets shake, markets proof, black swan makes the mood, panic in the streets, economies meet defeat, stocks and crypto retreat, black swan got the beat. Nasdaq falls to the ground, no calm, nowhere bound, fear in every sound, world spins round and round. Interest high, panic rise, markets filled with sacrifice, Taiwan ain't cries, black swan deep in the eyes, panic in the streets, economies meet defeat, stocks and crypto retreat, black swan got the beat. My poor Bitcoin, it hurts when I pee. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Panic in the streets, economies meet defeat, stocks and crypto retreat, black swan got the beat. My poor Bitcoin, it hurts when I pee. I got Bitcoin, it hurts when I pee.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.